Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Windows 10 21H1 aka Sun Valley. It is a fresh copy of Sun Valley and well, let's dig in and see what has changed. So first thing you can notice is that the icons are slightly different. You see the recycle bin is looking slightly different, slightly less flat. I do dig the no design language, but the major change here is on Windows Explorer. As you can see, well, it's taking its time. There we go. We have brand new icons for desktop, downloads, documents, pictures, music, and videos. This reminds me a lot of a couple Linux distros. It's kind of okay, I guess, but it doesn't really. It's not my cup of tea, honestly. Let's see. View. Let's make them large, extra large, medium, small, list. Honestly, not my cup of tea, but I do see where they're coming from. They're trying to make Windows 10 a lot more friendlier than before. But honestly, I would much rather have it like just standard folder without the icons, without the music icon pictures, just standard folder with this no shape, like the subfolders within that folder, like that. So like pictures, documents, instead of just having this. It's kind of I don't dig it, honestly. It's just personal, but I really don't quite understand why they did that. Because it's a little. It doesn't really fit. I mean, perhaps they're gonna reshape the entirety of Windows 10 over time. So perhaps the taskbar is going to be reshaped as well and everything else. But currently, it just doesn't really fit that very well. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't really ring with me, honestly. There is a new icon for DVD drive. I assume there's a new icon for floppy drive as well, if there's one, and the hard disk drive as well. Very different. A lot less flat. But also, it's still very inconsistent if you compare it to the rest of the design, to the rest of the Windows Explorer percent. Like, I see what they're trying to do here. I mean, this is far wider now, which wasn't like that beforehand. So perhaps they're going to reshape the whole thing. I hope they add tabs as well. It would be really cool if you could, like, have multiple tabs. Perhaps that's what they plan to do eventually, like add a space for tabs over here so that you can, go from documents, pictures, and whatever you want. Just from a single window, because that's an annoyance that exists since like Windows 95. You want to browse your files, you got to keep open a new window, instead of just, having them piling up on a single window, which is a lot more logical from any standpoint possible. It's just the best way to do it. And also in that regard, that if you open a bunch of them, like 20 or 25 windows, it's just gonna hang. It's a problem with Windows 10. Like a couple of weeks ago, a Mac user was like, okay, can you actually open more than 20 tabs on Windows without it crashing? And it actually did crash. I was like, God damn it, my computer cannot run Windows Explorer properly. And his Mac could open 50, 60 different windows without hanging, like just fine. Which, I don't know. And then I tried on Linux with a virtual machine. I opened as many as I possibly could, and it didn't hang. But Windows, after like 2025, it would just start like crashing. The whole thing, the system legit just halted because Windows Explorer died. So why not just add tabs and make this a little more simpler and less intensive on the system if Windows cannot handle like multiple windows going on? So also the new thing here, we have a new terminal, which is now part of the system, which it was a downloadable app before. Now you have your very own terminal. You can even use the Cloud Shell for Azure, which is pretty cool. You can configure it and tweak as you want. I like that. Settings remains basically the same. The icons apparently have been slightly changed. I'm not really sure, but it does seem like so. But generally, it's the same things. I cannot really do much here as far as customizing goes because I'm not. This machine's not licensed, so I don't really have a key for that. I'm not gonna buy a key just for uh this developer preview. And as you can see, just crashed. That's not really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's a developer preview, so it's all over the place as far as stability goes. That's why I'm not running it on bare metal. Of course, it's a virtual machine. So you have the phone app, accounts, data and security. You cannot really customize. Oh, there's a new thing which is quite cool. You can have different backgrounds for different desktops now. So if you're running like a desktop for gaming and a desktop for work, you can have different wallpapers, which I cannot really demonstrate here because it's not licensed, but I could have like a cool gaming wallpaper here, a standard wallpaper over here. That's pretty nice. I mean, it's something that has been a thing on Linux for a long time, and why Windows hasn't, took them a while, but it's finally here. You can have wallpapers, daily wallpapers now. The same system from the lock screen that gets like the cool pictures from Bing. Now you can have that on your desktop, which I truly appreciate. I wish I could demonstrate that, but as I don't have a license, I can't really do that. But it's really cool, the fact that you can have the daily wallpapers now on your desktop. So some people like to change stuff every now and then. I personally stick to the same wallpaper because I'm lazy, not because I actually like just using a single wallpaper, but I have been using the same since 2019 on desktop, and my laptop, which I got in 2016, has the same wallpaper since 2016, but basically because I'm lazy. The daily wallpaper is quite nice because if you cannot really decide what you want in terms of wallpapers, just let Bing do it for you. Sometimes it does come up with nice wallpapers, so it's a cool feature. The icons have been changed, most if not all of them. I do like the no design language, but it doesn't really match with the current layout. I assume they're going to round up the corners a little bit, perhaps, and start maneuvering stuff. They might start changing things on the next up and coming patches. So they might really get a better look at a no design language for the whole of the system. And I hope they get rid of all the redundancy because we have two control panels, I mean, which is kind of odd. I mean, you have the settings panel, then you have the control panel, which is not loading now. Nice. Oh, there you go. So you have new icons for it as well, which makes me wonder, are they actually going to get rid of that? Or, I don't understand. It's confusing. Then again, the no size of the Explorer bar and stuff, it doesn't really match with the rest of the design. It looks a little odd. The back and forward kind of small as well. I don't know what's going on here. Like this one is clearly the up to desktop buttons significantly larger than the back and forward, which I find really weird. So there is no consistency whatsoever. I hope they eventually fix that. But other than that, yeah, I kind of dig what they trying to achieve here. I mean, I do love the no terminal, the fact that you can have PowerShell and the command prompt and the Azure and whatever. If you have Windows subsystem for Linux, you can have that here as well. So you can stack them on top of each other. That's very nice. I really hope they add the tabs to the Explorer as well, which is only natural. I mean, if they added a tabbed terminal, it's only natural to expect them to also add the tabs to Windows Explorer. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, for now, as it's still very early 21H1 view, there's not a lot really to see, but eventually, I assume they are gonna add major features here. It's gonna get remodeled. 21H1 is actually gonna be big in terms of visuals. I mean, they're changing the icon, so definitely they're also going to change a lot more than just that. So the weather app is basically the same still, which I have on 1909, which I'm still running on my main desktop. But yeah, And I wonder if they're actually gonna carry over that to Windows Server 2022, the colorful icons. Hopefully not. If that's the case, I hope they at least go with the folders instead, rather than not like the normal standardized folders. But I rather than this, because this doesn't look Windows Server-y at all. But the other icons, okay, it's fine. You know, it's nice to get rid of the flat for once after like what 6 years. It's about time. But yeah, that's 21H1 for yeah. Looking nice. Perhaps they're gonna round the corners as I said before. Who knows? But so far it's looking great. I mean, it's a major update for once. Like actually major, they're reshaping everything. I hope they don't screw it up too much because this is really not my cup of tea. I hope there's a way to get rid of that. Disable the, because it just, you know, it just doesn't conversate with the rest of the design. Looks inconsistent. Then again, if they remodel the whole thing, then okay, understandable. Perhaps there's a, you know, because they're doing things one step at a time. Perhaps there's a whole entirely new design coming for Windows 10. Then okay, that could be understandable. I mean, but now it looks so out of place. It's weird. I cannot imagine myself like opening Windows Explorer and staring at that thing. It's horrendous. But that's just me. Anyway, I think that's it for the video. So you guys had fun exploring Windows 10 21H1 with me. If you have any feedback, you know, it's much appreciated. Comment sections down below. Don't be shy. Voice your opinions, whether they're positive or negative. I don't care. Just voice your opinions. Y'all have a great one. See you in the next video. Adios.